What's up? Black men have to prioritize coming together through self improvement. Now, if there's any black man out there who's trying to self improve, who's trying to develop a foundation in their black identity, being confident in who they are as a black man, loving themselves, loving their race, making, becoming more financially literate, making more money, eating healthier, uh, you know, different ways to come together with your community wherever you might live, and really coming together with the black community, and just everything around self improvement, man. And if you're interested in that and then and learning Black history as well, I have a deep dive guide on all of those things. And you'll find the link for that in the comments of this video, in the description of this video. And if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for it right there. So click on that, check that out. Now, when we look at what we really need in the Black community, what we really need Black men to do, I think that we really have to develop a culture where we come together on a consistent weekly basis of self improvement, of developing Black identity, Black confidence, learning about Black history, um, every aspect of self improvement for Black men, and learning our history and our identity, not through theology but through actual history, Black history. um and I understand that it's just so many things that we have to fix in our culture. One of the things we have to start doing is the Black men who want to self-improve and who want to see the Black community rise. We have to come together through self-improvement, through discipline, through being vulnerable with each other, being emotionally available, and learning about sexual energy, lust, developing the proper relationships in life as far as friends, platonic or romantic. And I have a thing that I've made that I'm going to be doing in real life, and I'm putting a lot of guys together in real life for so we can do this weekly. I had some guys that I made that I spoke to. They weren't really, they weren't, like I said before, it's a lot of guys out there who just they won't receive the message that you have, and I'm going to find more effective ways to get my movement out there and us coming together more and really having a movement. But this is something that I've wrote down. I wrote this down like 2-3 months ago, and it's basically, I can show you, it's like this right here. You can't really see it that good, but it's a thing where we come together weekly, and we, one week we're gonna work out, then the next week we're gonna all come together and talk about eating habits and health and fitness and all this. So, and then we're gonna have a day where we talk about Black history and Black identity, confidence in your race and your people, and placing that as the standard, not any other race as a standard. Sexual energy, relationships, developing those things right, and making sure we're in full control of ourselves and we're using that to benefit and serve us as men. And then also, creative and working man day. That's kind of what I wrote down, but it's basically, finances, entrepreneurship, and working hard towards your goals and making money in life. And I think that those are the things that we can do weekly together. And I encourage any man out there who may be watching this, find other Black men around your town, around your city, that you can come together with, and y'all can self improve, work out, eat healthier, learn Black history, talk about relationships, talk about lust, talk about things you maybe have struggled with in the past, talk about trying to find the right people to be around, and then also talk about finances, money, find ways how y'all can help each other, research, try to educate yourselves on that, and put on that entrepreneur mindset. And this is something that has to be consistently a part of our culture. And it's the beautiful thing about this is that we come together, because we can all do these things on our own, right? But it's not as, it's a benefit to doing these things on your own, but when you can come together, when it's a group of 10, 15, 20, 30 men coming together to do all these things, imagine how powerful and impactful that is, right? And to actually see results, guys making more money, guys having better relationships, guys, educating themselves on Black history, guys eating healthier, guys becoming more fit, working out together. Imagine doing those things together with each other. That's the powerful thing, man. That's really the powerful thing. And in my guide that I made, I go in depth about how you can find guys around your community to come together with, and different mechanisms and strategies as to how you can bring people together, how to organize things. I have a deep dive into that, and I think that that's going to be really valuable. If you want to check that out, the if you click on my channel in the bio section, you'll see the link for that. So check that out. But it's just so many things we have to start doing in the Black community, and that's probably the most important thing I would say, because when you come together on the foundation of self-improvement, we're all trying to get better, and then on top of the Black identity, coming together as Black men and making sure we know that and we feel confident in that, because anybody can come together to self-improve, but as a Black man, it's important that we have confidence in ourselves and we love ourselves. A lot of us, when we start to rise up and get more successful in life, we kind of leave the Black identity. And we see this all the time when we see famous people or super rich people. How much, how many Black billionaires do you see actually give back to the, Black community, or Black millionaires? I probably say it's a small percentage of them that give back, that really try to help the Black community, not only in just, giving everybody some money. Because I think that's not a real way of helping somebody and helping the Black community. You help the Black community by building confidence, by making them like themselves. And that's something we severely lack. That's why a part of my movement is a focus on us loving and liking ourselves as Black men and as a Black community. And so when we come together and self improve, we're not only trying to improve on a on a level of finances, wealth, relationships. We're not just improving on the things we know we need to improve on, but we're improving on our identity, and we're developing a more grounded identity. 'Cause that's one thing we also lack in the Black community. A lot of us want to be Cherokee Indians. A lot of us want to be white. A lot of us, obviously, white. A lot of us want to be, this race, that race, anything but Black, you know, anything but African American. And that's the problem we have, bro. Like, we don't want to be we don't want to be who we are. We don't want to own up to that, right? Why? Because they put us in a state where we hate being Black. They want us to act like they want us to change ourselves, and they don't want us to be confident in who we are and place ourselves as a standard, as the beauty standard, as the standard of success, of the standard of prosperity and just winning in life. And that's what we need to do. So that's pretty much all I gotta say. Peace out.